Good morning and welcome to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter, the show that takes a look at the events and what's happening all around Putnam County, as well as interviews with local, community, and business leaders. And now, sharing his insights and experience, here's Today in Putnam County with County Mayor Randy Porter.
I'm County Mayor Randy Porter, and it's Today in Putnam County. Thanks for joining us this week. Hope you're having a great day. Our show this week is about one of our great nonprofits here in Putnam County. It's Mustard Seed Ranch. My guest this morning is a good friend of mine, Miss Tammy Hogan. She's been with Mustard Seed Ranch. Tammy, how long now?
Almost 13 years.
13 years. It just doesn't seem possible.
I know,
It doesn't
right?
seem possible. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do and all you've done for Mustard Seed. Let's talk about Mustard Seed Ranch. A lot of folks that may be listening may not know what Mustard Seed Ranch is. So kind of bring it from the beginning and bring us up and let us know kind of what Mustard Seed does.
Sure. Well, Mustard Seed Ranch is a Christian home for children, boys and girls from the ages of 5 to 17. We are licensed by the state of Tennessee as a child care facility, and so we certainly we hold our level of excellence to the very highest, and so does the state. And so we've been ranked in the top 5% in the state since I've stepped on board. So it's just been, or even before that time, and so it's just been a blessing to be a part of that. But these children, Randy, they come from pretty harsh backgrounds. Mm-hmm. Many of the children that come to Mustard Seed Ranch are placed there by their adoptive families or their grandparents. And the reason for that is there's lots of research that shows that when children who've experienced childhood trauma reach puberty age, these behaviors, again, begin to explode and come from nowhere.
Yeah.
And these adoptive families and grandparents they don't know what to do because they can become violent. They can be very aggressive, and there's really no reason for it because, people adopt because all they want to do is show love, but love is not enough because when you experience trauma, it's trapped not only in your experience, in your memories, but it's also trapped in your body. And so there are residual effects due to that. And so as a result, they just don't know what to do. And, in the United States right now, there are 12 failed adoptions per day. That is literally by the Annie. Yes, per day. Annie E. Casey Foundation, new stats have come out per day.
That's sad.
And in Putnam County, we have over 200 children in foster care right now. And in the Upper Cumberland, there's over 1,000.
Wow.
And so many of those are due to failed adoptions. And so that's where we come in. Mustard Seed Ranch, we help these kids. We work with the families. But how we started was just simply that we wanted to provide a home for children who'd experienced abuse or neglect. But as we've seen through the last 15 years, there's a wide range of what childhood trauma looks like. And not only is it childhood trauma, but then it also seeps into the family that have adopted the children or taken them on as kinship adoptions or even grandparents or even single mothers.
Yeah.
Very rarely, Randy, do we see fathers involved, biological fathers.
That's
Many
sad.
of our children do not know their biological fathers. They're either incarcerated or deceased. And so, but the ranch was created to help provide for these children. Basically, we started with 2 boys' homes, and we kind of just grew from there. We are licensed at the time, we were licensed for 9 children per home, and we still are. But we've learned through the years that the house parents that come to Mustard Seed Ranch, it's a pretty intensive job.
Yeah.
And, but they come through a calling from the Lord to provide for our children and help them heal. And they have done that. I'm telling you, they're the most selfless people you'll ever know. And so what they do is they help to provide for them as if they were their own children. And then there's this child care team that surrounds every child that consists of their case manager, the house parents, their guardians, and our licensed professional counselor. And everyone creates this individual plan that helps guide them during their walk at the ranch. And in the beginning, we started to be more of a long-term placement.
Yeah.
Because we knew most of those children would end up being with us till they were 18. But as we've seen through the years, we've really the pendulum has swung where, we're kind of at a fork in the road. I approached our board last year and our team, and I said, I really believe the Lord is leading us in two different directions to provide for two different tracks, one of which is to be able to continue to provide long-term for those kids that will be with us long-term.
Yeah.
But then to be able to provide for children and families that really want to reunify. And we're kind of pioneering this. Not many people want to step into this zone because it's really difficult. It's very challenging, but we decided, this last year that we were going to step in the zone of being able to help families reunify. But by doing that, before that, you do all these steps ahead of time where you provide therapy, individual therapy, family therapy, training, and then you start working on reunifying very slowly, and then to be able to provide wraparound services eventually. So that's who we are, and that's what we do. And for 15 years, we're a nonprofit, and in the state of Tennessee, we're one of 300. Most places like Mustard Seed Ranch will charge between $150 to $650 a day based on the psychological need of the child.
Wow.
And Mustard Seed Ranch is so blessed by our community that we don't charge a penny for the children to live there. We give them the opportunity because of our community and what they provide for us to be able to provide for our children to heal. And it's just amazing.
Well, y'all do an amazing job. And I go back, remember when Rex and Julianne Buckner came up with this idea, I guess, to get Mustard Seed started. And you've got about 100 acres or more out there?
113.
113 acres out there off of Dotson Branch, Kirkendall, in that area that y'all took. And you've done such a transformation out there. I mean, I remember when you started with nothing, okay? Yep. And you built new houses.
A seed.
You're right. You started a seed and you built these new houses, and it looks nice out there. It's a great looking farm and taking care of these kids. And we see the effects of all the drugs and everything that's going on. And you were talking about there's not a lot of the dads involved sometimes. And we're seeing grandparents trying to raise kids and their grandkids, and mom and dad's in jail, or mom and dad are deceased, or drug overdoses, and all this bad stuff going on. But y'all are really filling a void out there. I know you started out with just this small group of kids and thinking you had to keep them till they turned 18 and became adults, but you're transforming now and to making sure that these folks that are trying to raise these kids, and they have the help they need, and to get them back on track.
Yes, that's our heart. I believe not only is it our heart, it's our vision for the future. And because as it's biblical, it's bringing fathers and families back together, and instead of this separation and this division, and there's a chance to heal. And if you can heal through trauma therapy, what that trauma therapy does is it helps to stop that cyclical process of PTSD cycles that happen over and over.
Yeah.
And we have seen massive success with our children and families who have done EMDR together, trauma therapy together. They're thriving.
Yes.
And I tell you, it just makes me emotional thinking about it, because God is so good, and He's helping these families, and they're healing, and they're able to be a family instead of living in crisis day in and day out, and then eventually not having anything and feeling so broken that they can't do anything but, relinquish their rights. I mean, come on, there's got to be more than that. And I think our community, I love the fact that our community sees that is such a serious need. You can see it everywhere you walk.
Yes.
And it's like, if we all just start one child, one family at a time, whatever we can do, no matter if you're at the ranch or you're in the community and you see someone in need, give, help, provide, and being able to speak about Mustard Seed and share about this. I mean, when our 2 new houses are finished, we're going to be able to serve up to 30 children at one time.
Oh, wow.
And we want those houses filled, but there's always an ebb and flow of kids coming and going, but we want those houses filled, and we want to provide more. And eventually the vision is more homes, more land, more property, so that there could be more houses across the state of Tennessee, either associated with Mustard Seed Ranch or not, to do exactly what we're doing, because it's not about giving us glory. It's about giving God glory for what He placed on our hearts.
Amen. Mustard Seed Ranch is doing His work, and you made a huge difference in a lot of these kids' lives, and we're going to talk more about it. But we got to take a break. More with Tammy Hogan and Mustard Seed Ranch. Stay with us.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Our show this week about one of our great nonprofits we have here in Putnam County. It's called Mustard Seed Ranch, and they do an outstanding job when it comes to dealing with children that are neglected, that are orphans, being raised by grandparents, all kinds of issues, and they take them in and try to help them and work through that. And if you don't know about Mustard Seed Ranch, you're going to find out about it today on the show. Tammy was talking about Mustard Seed and you got a farm out there of 113 acres, and you've got these houses and all these kids, and you're helping them and all these things. I saw something. You're a licensed child care facility.
Yes, we are.
Okay,
through
so
the state of Tennessee.
I saw this quote, and I was thinking, for this quote to be said by a state official, it really means a lot, okay? Mark Anderson, who's the licensing director for the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, said, out of the 300 licensed child care facilities in the state of Tennessee, Mustard Seed Ranch is one of our best. Mustard Seed Ranch is a top-notch program. I wish other facilities could emulate what you are doing for children. You don't see that very often, Tammy, that you get the head of a state department like that come out and say that about one of his 300 licensed facilities. Y'all are doing a great job. You're faith-based.
Yes, we are.
Everything you believe that God has led you in this direction to do this, and He's blessing y'all out there. And this is your 15th anniversary.
It sure is.
15 years goes by in a hurry, doesn't it?
72 kids.
That's just amazing, the lives that you're touching. And we were talking about these kids. They have these traumas in their life, don't they?
Yeah.
They've lost mom, or they've lost dad, or they've lost both of them, or they're in jail, or they're in prison. Their moms and dads are. Grandparents are trying to raise them, maybe couldn't because of their age or their ability. And you're taking these kids in and giving them a place to live and work and teaching them about God and helping. That just has to be a huge blessing in everyone's lives at Mustard Seed Ranch, of the folks that work there and part of this.
Yes. I look at the people that have worked there through the years that I've worked with, and even our founders, being able to look at all the work, the gifts that they've provided, whatever that is, whether it was administratively speaking, volunteer, the staff, the house parents, all of that, they have contributed to make the ranch what it is today. And I'm so proud of them and their tenacity and being able to walk through spiritual warfare, all that comes when you work for a ministry. But the great thing, Randy, is it's not just helping children, it's now helping families.
Yeah.
And these kids that come to us have had severe neglect. We've had, we got one kiddo at the ranch right now. He's 9 years old. He experienced neglect, severe neglect. His parents were doing massive drugs, and you know what? Addiction is addiction, and literally it rises above any other important thing in your life.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
It's so sad because I never had the opportunity of being a mother myself, and what I would have given to be a mother and provide for my children in such a beautiful way. But addiction is where that's the broken piece of this. And so when a child can come to the ranch and step away from having to fend for himself for 3 days at a time, 4 days at a time, because his parents are on a drug binge, and come to the ranch because, adoptive parents can't manage the behaviors, but they want to do what they can to help him. And so it's so cool because this kiddo that I'm referring to, literally the other day, we were all getting ready to go somewhere, and he said, "Man, I left my chicken livers and my fishing pole at the pond. I don't know what to do. I don't want to let them all dry out. That's all I got." I said, "Well, come on, buddy. I'll drive you on over there." And Mom's it okay? And she's like, "Oh, yeah, go ahead." So I drove him over, and he said, "Miss Tammy, can I just drop one more line in the pond?" I said, "You got it, bud." Yeah. I swear to you, you can go on our Facebook and see this video. It's the coolest thing. He hadn't gotten a bite. He had just been admitted to the ranch the week prior to that. And this happened just recently. And he literally dropped that line in, and buddy, he got the biggest bite, and it was a huge 2-pound catfish. Wow. And he's like, "Oh!" And he's like reeling that thing in, and he's like, "I know you're tired, Mr. Catfish, but come on. I'm going to let you back in. I just want to catch you." I'd much rather see a kiddo like that finally be able to be a kid for the first time in his life, instead of having to deal with all the massive darkness that most adults have never even seen. The ranch provides that. Yeah. And we would not be able to provide that for our children if it hadn't been for our community that rallies behind us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Y'all operate off of donations?
Yes, 100%.
You're a nonprofit. So let's talk just a little bit. You're having your 15th anniversary. You're going to do a virtual fundraising, I guess?
Yes. For the past, since 2019, we decided we were going to just try to venture into the virtual fundraiser instead of doing a large banquet. We feel that we can reach so many more people people and really spread the word about Mustard Seed and what we truly do.
Yeah.
And so we've seen a success in that. We've reached so many more people. And this year, this is a special year. We're doing our 15th annual fundraiser, virtual fundraiser on September the 10th at 7 p.m. And it'll be on our social media pages. And it's not a 2-hour thing. It's only 20 minutes where you get to sit in your living room and watch it on YouTube. And people miss it. They get to watch it even after that. But this year is going to be really special because we have previous kids coming back. We've got firefighters. We got a police officer. We have a nurse. We have a business owner. And these are all kids that were at the ranch that came exactly from the same backgrounds that our current kids come from. And so it just goes to show that this model works because it's a family. It shows that you've got house parents that are literally Christian house parents, that we do not force our beliefs down our children. We want to show the love of God, and they come to Jesus as a result of that.
And they make their own decisions.
They do.
Yeah, that's just like everybody does.
Yeah.
So this is September the 10th?
Yes, sir.
That you're having your virtual. So how can people get involved in that? How can they get onto that virtual fundraising?
Our Facebook and our Instagram pages, and then also our YouTube page. But if they miss it, we'll have them posted on there so they can watch it anytime they want. And it really is going to be very special because we're going to pull in community members, and we're going to talk to other people who have also seen what God has been able to do in the Mustard Seed for the past 15 years. It's pretty special.
MustardSeedRanchTN.org?
MustardSeedRanchTN.org.
You can go on that website and learn all about it. September 10th, they're going to have their virtual fundraising, help these folks because they do a great job here in Putnam County. We're going to talk more about a couple more events that they've got coming up at Mustard Seed. We've got to take a break. More with Tammy Hogan and Mustard Seed. Stay with us.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. This week's show, it's all about the Mustard Seed Ranch. My guest this week is Tammy Hogan. She's been involved with the ranch for about 11 years. 15th anniversary, Tammy. We've been talking about what a great job at Mustard Seed does. Give us an update. You started building 2 new homes and everything down on the ranch. How's that going and where you at?
It's great. We actually started with 2 homes, and then we converted an additional home, our founder's home, into another home. So that's the girls' ranch, and then we have a boys' ranch. So they're all across the street from one another. And a few years ago, we decided we were going to build. Then our board said, let's build 2 homes. And then, of course, COVID came. All these things came along with it. But you know what? The Lord just provided. So many people stepped up. And now we're right at the latter end of this process. What we want to do, we'll have the construction finished, we know for sure, by September, the beginning of September. And then we have to furnish the homes. But we've had so many people step up, give in kind, to also give monetarily speaking. And I'm telling you, these homes are awesome. And the best thing is that we've really based these new homes on the older homes and what we learned, what didn't work, and try to be more efficient with our energy costs. And so we're excited because we're going to be able to serve, seriously, 12 additional children.
Oh, wow.
And so that will equal 30 children that we will be able to serve when it's all said and done.
That's amazing, Tammy. To think where Mustard Seed has come from, where
Amen.
You started out with nothing.
Amen.
And where it's come from.
Yep.
God has sure blessed y'all, that's for sure.
Amen.
You got a great partner in Ford Lincoln of Cookville, don't you? Y'all are going to be doing a big golf tournament coming up. Tell us about that.
Well, they're awesome because they choose a different charity every year and or nonprofit. And this year they selected Mustard Seed. This is the second time they've done this for us, and they're just so giving. And
yes,
so it's going to be on August the 3rd. It'll be at White Plains Golf Course, and it's a 4-man team set up. So you just go, and if you want to sign up, you just go over to Ford Lincoln and sign your teams up as quickly as you can. I don't know when that deadline's coming, but it's going to be great because, it's just, again, another beautiful opportunity for the community to pour into Mustard Seed and help us continue to thrive.
Absolutely. Thank you to Ford Lincoln of Cookville. Yes. Jeff Root over there.
Amazing.
He's an amazing guy.
Yes.
And they give a lot back to the community. Yeah. So if you play golf, it's going to be a 4-man scramble.
Yeah.
August the 3rd at White Plains Golf Course. You can go over and see Jeff and them at Ford Lincoln of Cookville, or you can go to Tammy and them's website, MustardSeedRanchTN.org, and check it out. They've got information there. You have an annual day coming up every year.
Yeah.
And that's a great day for Mustard Seed Ranch. It's called Jake's Day. first, before we get into what all happens at Jake's Day, where did Jake stay? Where did you come up with the name Jake?
We didn't actually. That's why partnerships are so important.
Okay.
We partnered with the National Wild Turkey Federation 13 years ago.
Okay.
We have the property and we have the community connection, and they do too. And so what we did, it's an event that they provide every year annually across the United States, and it's Juniors Acquiring Knowledge for Outdoor Education. And so what it is just providing the opportunity for kids who've never experienced to come out and do archery, 22 range, BB gun range. Oh man. I mean, we've got 24 different sections for kids and their families, and it's all free. We started the first year we did it. We only had 75 kids. In the last event that we had, we literally had almost 1,000 kids plus their families. And it's awesome.
It's a huge event.
It's huge, and it's the sheriff's department. Everyone in the community has a section in this where they provide help and opportunity. We have these amazing sponsors that step up that literally provide a free day for people to come out, and kids get free, NWTF hats. And there's even four-wheeler range. We also provide for kids that have disabilities. So paint gun range. It is my favorite time because it's so sweet, because it's like, I remember last year I go around taking pictures and I saw this group of boys that were like the Sandlot, and they all had their fireman hats on and their cotton candy and their map of the where we had the events, and they're all like, man, all right, dude, we're going to the four-wheelers next. And then they get on there, we've got these mule teams that volunteer to come out and take people from here to there, and they ride over on the mule teams, and they're like, okay, dude, now we're going to go let's go to the archery. And it's like, these events are events that kids never forget. We had last year a boy who'd been coming since he was 5 years old with his grandfather every year as a tradition. And they spoke on video, and both of them were crying, talking about these memories are memories they're never going to forget. And people say to me, well, why don't you make that a fundraiser for the ranch? You get all these people to come out. And I said, no, because this is our opportunity to literally bless the community.
Aren't you?
Yes.
You're giving back. Yes.
And it is. We will never have it anything but a blessing for our community. And we will continue doing this forever.
It has turned into a huge event. I mean, to think where you started out with and 1,000 people, but these kids are getting an opportunity to do things they probably would never get the opportunity to do.
Yes.
And that's a blessing of how the community gives to Mustard Seed, and then Mustard Seed is giving back.
Yes, sir.
And we talk about it all the time with elected officials and folks, and we get together about how great a community we live in. We are so blessed to be here.
Yes.
Putnam County, I put them up against anybody.
Amen.
We all get along, get good together. All the elected officials get along, chamber, hospital, Tennessee Tech, all the nonprofits. Everybody supports everybody. I mean, you couldn't have done what you've done at Mustard Seed had it not been for the community with all they do to donate and to help. And it just gives me cold chills sometimes to think about seeing other places they're not like we are.
No, they're not. And I mean, I grew up here and moved back to Colorado to work with inner city kids for 14 and a half years. And that was great. But I'm telling you, what you just said is absolutely the truth. There is no community like this community. And I'm not speaking just because of Mustard Seed Ranch. I'm connected with so many other nonprofits. I serve on a board. I see people just giving their hearts and doing whatever they can to step up. And when we had that tornado and what this community did, my sister and her husband, their house was destroyed. But to be able to see people we didn't even know come up, and you, Randy, everything you did as well, it just blows me away. And I'm honored to be just a little piece of sand in this community where I can say I'm honored to be a part of such an amazing community. It's real. It's true.
I always knew. I moved here in the late 70s, come to Tennessee Tech, and came from Little Macon County and didn't know anybody here. And I hadn't been here over a year or two, and I thought, this is great.
Yeah.
And the longer I lived, and of course met my wife Melanie, and we raised our family here and everything, and I always knew that it was good. The thing, and you brought it up, the thing that really, 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 really opened my eyes to what a great community we live in was that tornado.
Yes.
I watched, and I'll never forget that second day. The first day it's disaster. We've lost 19 people. We got 700 homes damaged.
Yes.
Over 200 of them are totally gone.
Yes.
And we got all these people wanting to volunteer. So we said, okay, the next day we're going to open it up, and we're going to allow them to come in and help. So we set up for them to meet at 8 o'clock. It's what's Gabe's now, the old Hobby Lobby building we used to talk about down South Jefferson.
I remember that. I was there.
We thought probably have a couple hundred people show up.
No.
We shut down the roads. People could not get in. I mean, there's thousands of people that showed up that day to go help somebody they didn't even know.
Yes. And I saw it was neat because you could, everyone, and it wasn't just one group of people or another. Whether you belong to a church or you don't or whatever it was, people were so loving and giving. And I really, man, you'd sure love to see that happen in this country now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's why we're so blessed. And I'm blown away. I'm blown away by the love that is just constantly given to each other in this community. It's just so amazing. And then to watch you as a leader, I mean, I'm blown away by what you've been able to do with your team as well for our community.
We got a great team for sure, and sometimes it takes tragedy to really make you see how good it is. We only got a minute or two left, so let's recap on, make sure everybody knows about all your events coming up. August the 3rd, White Plains Golf Course. You got a Drive for Cause golf tournament. Ford Lincoln Cookeville is the host, and all the proceeds go to benefit Mustard Seed Ranch. If you want to sign up, 4-man scramble, go by Ford Lincoln of Cookeville, or you can go to mustardseedranchtn.org or their website and check it out. And then you got Jake's Day coming up, as that's August the 17th, 8:30 to 1:30. Unbelievable event, folks. Take your kids, take your family, go out to see this at Mustard Seed Ranch. It's free. Upper Cumberland, the NWTF partners with you to do this. It's all kinds of fun things to do, 8:30 to 1:30. And then you're having your online 15th anniversary virtual fundraising. That's going to be online. You can do that from your home, your phone, wherever you want to be. And you can go to Mustard Seed Ranch TN.org and you can check that out. Tammy, wow, it just amazes me at what y'all have been able to do, and you have been such a big part of that. Thank you for what you do and what you continue to do. And I was thinking, you said earlier, and that you never had the opportunity to be able to have a child of your own. You've had 70 of them. I mean, you think of all these kids' lives that you have touched. God He had a plan there, and you've done good. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's our show for this week. Hope you'll join us every weekend for Today in Putnam County. I'm County Mayor Randy Porter. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and may God continue to bless our great county.
You've been listening to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.